Over the past few days, we've been following the case of a Low Country couple murdered in St. Martin. Michael and Thelma King of Mount Pleasant were in St. Martin, apparently on business. Authorities there found the two stabbed to death in a condo they owned. An autopsy yesterday confirmed. Attorney David Aylor, a man who can always handle the truth, is here on this trial Tuesday with much more on being a victim of a crime in another country. So, Counselor, thank you so much for being here as always. Tell us about this case because it's really special. It's got its own special set of circumstances as far as South Carolina and we're concerned.
Right. Well, first of all, the thing you got to know about St. Martin is it's split into two different territories. One is the Dutch territory and the other one's the French territory, and this is on the Dutch side. So it's going to be completely just that Dutch government there that will be handling the case. A lot of people have actually called me and just in some common conversations asked me, now will this person somehow come back to South Carolina, come back to America and be charged since these were American citizens? And the answer is no. You know, it was committed on that soil and, you know, the person will actually face justice there.
Yeah, so it's obviously a different justice system than we're used to here in the States. So how is that going to work? Let's say, you know, you go down and you go on vacation, maybe get in some trouble with the law. Do you want to hire an attorney in that country, or do you want to hire an attorney here that could fly down and represent you?
Well, I think a lot of times you could really do either, but what I suggest, and I've actually assisted people with before, is if they have an incident in a foreign country, that if they're actually, you know, the one that's alleged to have committed something, it's good to talk to somebody you know, somebody locally, and then make them go through the networks and assist you in trying to find somebody down there, because a lot of countries are different. Some use notaries for some legal processes and things like that, and people can get really confused with it. Yeah. But you definitely want to try to have somebody, whether it be a local or someone from outside the country, really directing it to make sure you get with the right person.
Well, let's say that you end up in custody on vacation or during your business travels abroad. What's the first thing you need to do? Who's that one phone call that you need to make?
Someone outside of the country, you know, would probably be your best call. Someone back in America, then, you know, the embassy may need to be contacted and that sort of thing. But you really want to have someone outside that can really start to try to work for you, because unfortunately when you're in there, or maybe if you have relatives or friends that are with you, they're going to be limited to what they're able to do because they just don't know the system.
Right. Now they have a gentleman in custody in the case that we were talking about down in St. Martin. So what's the next move for that gentleman, as well as the families here in South Carolina that might have to travel down there?
Right. From what I understand, I think some of the family is going to travel down there, which is pretty understandable to try to, you know, get a better handle on this just horrible incident. But with the gentleman that they have in custody, which I think they've really leaked the name, but they're not releasing it. It's a little bit of a different system. First thing he'll have is basically a hearing, and that hearing will just be almost like a probable cause hearing is what you'd have here, just to determine do they really even have enough evidence to hold him. He's not going to be formally charged and arrested. He's just under investigation. So the laws are a lot different, you know. And then ultimately, as the case moves on, if it moves on with him, then he will be formally charged at the time of, you know, a court proceeding. But, you know, it is a formalized system. It's just different than our system.
So he definitely won't be coming back, that accused suspect, to stand trial here in America?
No, he will not. There will probably definitely be, you know, Americans both down there, and then just the government as a whole will definitely pay attention to what's going on in the proceedings, but they can't really, you know, get involved with it to any degree because there's nothing that actually was committed here in the United States.
Do you think you need someone who's familiar with the American justice system as well as someone who's familiar with the Dutch justice system working together at the same time? Let's say if you were down in St. Martin and got into a little trouble.
I think it would help a lot because, you know, that person's going to have a little bit better understanding. Obviously, the local person there, you know, in legalese, if you will, explaining it to the local attorney that can really just guide them, because, you know, the justice system as a whole is confusing for people that are not used to being involved in it, even here locally, much less in another country.
But when in doubt, if you're on vacation or in another country, obey that country's laws and don't get in any trouble.
And be careful where you go.
The best legal advice there is. David Aylor, thank you so much, my friend. We appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Low Country Live in just a moment.